Wait. Okay, away we go. Welcome. You're listening to the Best of Investing on Talk 910. This is the show where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. And for those of you listening for the first time, because we have a lot of new listeners, here's our format. A few people sitting around a bar having drinks without the drinks, talking business with you, the audience listening in. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm pleased to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender, Catherine Harris of Parati and Karad, and Robert Schiff. See, I get those two mixed up. Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. And our phone number is 888-912-1190. Write that number down, 888-912-1190, because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. The vacations are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Lighthouse Resort and Marina located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. The vacations are free. Their only request, a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. You can reach them at 916-777-5511. Today's trivia theme is Las Vegas, or lost wages for all of you non-gamblers.
Indeed.
Our website is bestofinvesting.com. Check us out and hit the like button, please, on Facebook. Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's not very professional to ask people to like you, right?
Visit us.
Visit us. There we go. Thank you very much. Also, YouTube by typing Best of Investing Radio Show. Also on television, Comcast Channel 26 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99 on Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 6 p.m. Before we officially start the show, I need to tell you how much fun my family and I had at iFly in Union City yesterday. Now, I showed you guys some of the pictures, and you really do fly because it's indoor skydiving. See, I wouldn't jump out of an airplane.
There you go. Takes the risk out of it.
That
doesn't
sounds
it?
like a lot of fun.
Well, it is a lot of fun. So we had a lot of fun. Our guide, Jason, he was very good, terrific guy. And if you want to have a lot of fun with your family, or now they're doing like corporate sponsored events, get out of the office type of thing, something they're now doing, check out sfbay.iflyworld.com. Just call them at 510-489-4359. They have many locations, actually, around the country. Trust me, you will have a great time. Mark, let's get in right with you. You found a very interesting article you want to share with us.
Well, let's start the show with a little bit of real estate news of the week. And so this past week, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that was titled Bay Area Rally Sends Rents Soaring. And it talks about how rent increases have investors rushing to purchase properties. Well, that's really not news, right? But what was interesting about this article is it starts out by saying, when Alexandra Goldman got notice of her rent increase on the 5-bedroom house she shares with roommates, she was in disbelief. Now, this is a 5-bedroom house in San Francisco, which we know is expensive, so
She's got to run at least $2,000 a month.
well,
she
was paying
For $2,000 a week.
For her share.
For her share, yeah.
for her room, right? Well, no, okay, so this
Her
is San
half room.
Francisco.
Imagine she shares the room.
So 5-bedroom house in San Francisco, she was paying $6,000. Guess what the new rent?
No, that's not her portion. That was for the
that
whole
was
house.
for the whole house.
Okay, there
yeah,
we go.
so the whole house, $6,000. She's sharing the cost. They're, I guess, renting out rooms among 5 bedrooms.
And what did it go to, 8,000?
I would say 8.
No, 9,700.
$11,000.
Now wait, isn't there rent control in San Francisco?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, how do you-
Especially in San Francisco.
Well,
As everything in real estate, it depends.
It depends,
It
yes.
depends it depends, first of all, when the property was built. So if it was built after a certain date, even if it's a 4-unit building, it's exempt.
Really?
Oh.
And I think that if it's a single-family residence, it may be exempt. It's not units.
Yeah. So the article goes on to say, welcome to what is arguably the worst city in America to be a renter, but among the best to be a landlord. So,
Well, that just supports what we've been seeing in the real estate market for the last couple of months, 2 years maybe. You can see that the people who are purchasing properties are not generally first-time home buyers. It's investors. They're the ones who are able to put the 100% capital, that 100% down. And look what the rate of return they're getting.
So 6,000 to 11,000? That's, I mean, they have a right on the
The question is, did they intend to get that, or did they intend to have no renters?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then they're going to get people out, and they're going to get 12,000.
Well, no, or they're going to move into it personally.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I guess that could be because they did not get the landlord to comment on that rent increase. So maybe that was it. Maybe that was fueling it. So it could be just an aberration. But I think we've all seen rents are rising, and they're rising fastest in cities, of course, with the tightest supply of housing, like the Bay Area. And there was an article we talked a few shows back about how there was a survey done among the public as to what's behind the increases in the real estate prices, and the vast majority of them blamed it on real estate investors. Now, at the time, I disagreed with that I didn't think, like 25% said, oh, it's real estate investors are causing this surge in prices. And in fact, I think it's, it's Econ 101, it's supply and demand. We've got tight supply and we've got a high demand. We've got low interest rates. Money is, not as free as it used to be. It's going up a little bit in cost. We'll talk to Robert about that later. But certainly, we're all waiting for more inventory to come on the market. And the article, again, Wall Street Journal being usually has very well written articles. They do talk about the fact that tight supplies have unleashed a torrent of new construction permits in the Bay Area. So stay tuned.
And it's funny because when all the houses went into foreclosure and people lost their primary residence and it was bought either or off the market, eventually either rented out by banks, which they didn't do very often, or bought by an investor to rent out, we thought there would suddenly be a surge of rental properties available, because a lot of the houses that have been owner-occupied were now for rent, and it might depress the rental market. And instead, the opposite has happened. All the people who owned houses and were homeowners and lost their houses, a significant percentage of them are still renters waiting to get their credit cleared out or a job back, or for whatever the multitude of possible reasons are for them to be able to qualify for a loan again with the new Dodd-Frank laws that make it harder to qualify for a loan. So a lot of those people are renters, and probably in some cases have given up in the near future being homeowners. So
Robert, do you think that that's going to change? Do you think Dodd-Frank somehow things will loosen up?
Oh, what a
It's kind of hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
How long is the show? I mean,
you got 6 months. Go ahead.
The Glass-Steagall Act was about 17 pages, and it did its job perfectly for about 70 years.
Yeah.
And when President Clinton kicked it out, we had problems commensurate with that. And when they put the Dodd-Frank law in, it's about 1,200 pages. And out of those 1,200 pages, I'd say not even a third of the regulations in there have been instituted yet.
New and improved.
Wow.
Interesting. So in other words, things are not going to get easier.
So that's right.
And what's also impacting this with renters is that this is the area where jobs are being created. The Bay Areas, San Jose, that's where any jobs that have been created in the last year, 2 years, that's where it is. It's not in manufacturing. It's not in other areas. It's in these concentrated metropolitan areas. So though there may be a depressed rental market in other areas, San Francisco Bay Area has a high demand or influx of people coming in for jobs.
There's no question about it.
Oh yeah, technology's on fire in San Francisco.
And all the young people that are working in the peninsula and the tech, a lot of them, that's why they don't want to be after work. They don't want to be in San Mateo. They want to be in San Francisco. And
why?
They're 23.
How
Do you remember where you wanted to be when you were 23?
Oh, yes.
The desire is still there. It's just that, so that you see the buses lined up. Even when I drive down to Mill Valley from San Rafael in the morning, there are buses at the shopping centers waiting, say Genentech or Google, waiting to take everybody there so that they can not have to worry about the commute. In San Francisco, in the city, it's much more prevalent. The real estate in the city didn't get hit as hard as any of the other areas in the Bay Area, and they're going up as high. It's just the city is incredibly strong. The East Bay and Marin County and the South Bay are also very strong. I mean, the increase in rents is phenomenal, and that means that if you're an investor and and you're looking at units, you're just looking at a return on your investment, and if the rents are gonna go up 20%.
Or in this case,
That's a-
83.3%.
Yeah, that's incredible leverage.
That's how you do the math there on your calculator.
Yeah, hey, you know, come on. People are listening on the radio. They think I just have this in my head. I got a little abacus going on there. Okay, we're going to cut to our first commercial break. And again, the theme is Las Vegas. What is the name of the casino with the bright light pointing up to the sky? And apparently that's one of the few things that can be seen from space. So that was kind of interesting, yeah. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What is the name of the casino with the bright light pointing up to the sky? One more time, 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, speak slowly, spell out your email letter one letter at a time, and we'll be right back. Okay.
Check the.
Anyone know the answer to that one?
Yeah, I know which one it is. I'm
No.
just trying to think of the name of it.
It's a mirage.
No,
It's a
it's a mirage.
I don't know.
It's black. It's
I
a
did
pyramid,
prove the
and it's
Color
the.
question last week, though.
That's right, you did.
My daughter was,
Or try
oh,
to
look,
get-
I
Oh,
found
we're
out
trying
how
to
to
get
make how to
levels.
make brown. It was green
Really?
and red.
Are
I
you
was
getting
like,
levels or are you getting
mustard.
more interesting?
I love the sign in the elevator. It says if you leave after 6 p.m., don't exit in the lobby. Exit on the 3rd floor.
Don't worry, there's stairs.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah,
Just to
there's
see the
parking.
sign.
Exit on the 8th floor.
Yeah. What's,
You pretty good, Mike?
I just had to lower
I
it a
have
little
no
bit.
okay.
Your company's name
You trying to get my attention?
We're in Los-
Yeah.
is.
Just
Oh.
kidding.
Where's the paper?
Okay.
That's certified public accountant.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do the CPA, the valet parking.
Yeah, there you
Certified
go.
public. I'm certified, I don't know.
Parking and
Parking
There
authority.
you
They're actually
go.
good.
Parking
I've
authority.
used them in the past. They're actually very good.
Any relation to Chris?
I know when he's gonna go to break. I know,
Depends.
when I usually watching season.
There is. I'm not a karate. I work for the karate. But yes, he has, the karate I work has, I'm trying to think of, there is, we work with
When we
karate
cover
that does
second
access
topic
to
at,
waste management. Okay, and then
email
there
file
are
studio.
people that do,
You watched it, everybody is like, they look like they got the talk. And you gotta be.
Any burning desire to cover a particular topic on the second, or can you go right into email?
I talked about just financial literacy and,
Okay, well,
I mean,
that's
mine's
good.
kind of just interesting, just where,
Break it
with
up.
more of
so
what
we
you
have
think.
Oh, yeah,
real
let's talk about that.
estate.
Okay.
And I've got one little thing, if we can get to it, CEO pay.
Oh, that's fun.
CEO what?
Pay. It's just a quick little thing, but we'll go
Do
right
you
into
remember
it.
offhand? Remember I brought it and I didn't bring my file, but I had actually cut out an article in one of the financial business newspapers about student loans. Does this one talk about how high the default rate is now? It's like unbelievable. It's like 60% or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Really?
an incredible amount,
A little
yeah.
bit about that.
Because that you
Plug
can't.
in.
There's no such a thing.
You can't default, right? You can't bankrupt. You have to pay for your. It's
It's
stuck to you for the
It's
rest
more
of your life.
committed than your wife.
Go
It's
ahead,
not
sir.
saying a lot.
Okay, and just as a reminder, people, when you talk, everyone has a little bit of a habit of going like that, and I have to go like this. Well,
You know, engaged with each other.
you know what? Maybe I'll get some Scotch tape and put it across so you have to do that. Okay,
What barriers?
We should be in a
So
circle.
can't
We
even
should be in
see
a
each
circle.
other.
That's
so
it,
we
like
can-
horses. That's why you look up here.
We should get a round.
That's actually very
Get a
good,
round
so you
desk.
didn't have to do
Yeah.
it.
You need a round desk.
That's true.
15 years.
I know. Is it hard to look in the mirror to talk to the guy over there?
I don't see anybody see the chair.
So does financial literacy meaning like I don't own no student loan?
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
I was gonna talk about just
It's
the, I was gonna more
it's
ask,
the fault of you guys, not
I-
me.
I went to,
I
exactly.
guess we gotta be careful. We don't want to sound.
Yeah, that's true.
I more was talking, when I went
Double
to
negative.
school, it was not taught very much it was not a core curriculum in my schooling up to through high school.
Financial
So I'm-
illiteracy. Okay, I
Financial
get it.
literacy.
Not knowing anything about how money
Just
works.
anything. So
Yeah.
like, forget about, to
Just
start
be called home
investing, you have to even
economics.
understand it.
Okay, let's
Home ec. Yeah, let's go
right
back.
in.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Wait. let's
Go.
back.
Financial ec. Ready, Teddy? You need that?
Oh, sure, that's
Or does
always
that
good.
mess you up?
All right, give me that.
Oh, like,
Okay. All right, here we go. Welcome Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn, Catherine Harris, and Robert Schiff. When we cut to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. What is the name of the casino, because the theme is Las Vegas, what is the name of the casino with the bright light pointing up to the sky? And if you're one of those mosquitoes, don't look at the line.
Well, it's a black pyramid, and
Yes.
I don't remember the name.
I don't know the name.
I agree.
The Luxor.
Oh,
With
yes.
the
See, we're not
Sphinx.
gamblers here, you can
Egyptians.
tell.
Yeah,
That's true.
I've only been to Las Vegas 3 times in my life.
Oh, you gotta go back.
I was pregnant the last time too. How exciting is that?
That's not so fun. Catherine, you have an interesting article you wanted to share with us.
Well, I kind of wanted to get your gentleman's perspective on this. Financial literacy. Growing up in grammar school, middle school, high school, education on just basic financial information. How a credit card works, how student loans work, how to reconcile a bank statement was never taught at all.
Well, you know what? I did teach at a high school, and
Yes.
I invented for them a class to teach them exactly and time value of money and all that. And they really did.
You were probably the
appreciate that.
only one who ever taught a class like
Well,
that. in
I
high
looked
school.
at the curriculum and I said, you know what? Would you guys be interested in having me come in and just teach? I taught
You mean
It's
to teach something that's appropriate for the rest of their life.
Well, you know what?
Exactly.
And that's
Novel
exactly how I
concept.
brought it up to him. I said, you know what? How sometimes science teachers or history teachers or whatever will say, okay, my class is very, very important, and I'll tell you. And I went in there. I said, well, that is important. I said, but my class is the most important class because everything I teach you, you will learn. You will use every single
Every
day of your
single
life.
And there was an article recently about the financial literacy of Americans compared to other countries and how it's gone down in recent years. And I was kind of curious to see what you had when you guys were growing up. What was it like for you? Whether you had that financial literacy in part of your education or
Well, when I was a
it
kid,
missing? Because I
the
think
number
it's something
system.
that needs
when
to
I-
happen.
when I was a kid, the number system was 1, 2, and more than 2 because there were more numbers than 2. I was kind of old.
We were using abacuses.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. And where they're thinking,
There weren't credit cards.
Really? When you were little? Oh, I guess.
I don't
No, they
think there
started
were
in the
credit cards.
60s, right? That's a
Yeah.
good point. In fact, mortgages were only about 7 years when I was really little,
wow.
and then they eventually came up with the 30-year mortgage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and the impact you can see it now is in student loans, where people the default rate has gone up so significantly, and it's because of the lack of education surrounding the
Free money,
student loans.
right?
And
They're just
exactly.
holding it.
But-
They're
but-
giving you money. You don't have to pay it back.
Let me ask, if those people had been educated about the student loans, what would be the difference? If they're going to school and hoping to get a certain kind of job at Wall Street or whatever it is that was more available than it is now, so they accrued $100,000 or $80,000 or $200,000 in debt, assuming that they would get out of college and get a job making enough to cover that and be in the middle class. Now they find out, to their surprise, and nothing that could have prepared them for it, that job's not there, or the job is there but it's half the pay, and they can't go back to the people that lent
That's
them
a
the
long
money for
story.
the
That's a
student.
long question.
That's a lot of exceptions. I mean, but just to educate
I
them.
mean, what could they have done differently? Are you going to
In other
rack
words,
up $100,000
Right, the
in
cost of
student
schooling
loans?
has gone through the roof.
But
That's
then
a fact.
that's where you choose not to go to a private school. It's understanding the
That's a good
difference
point.
between what you can afford and what you can't afford.
Of course, what do they know what the
Just
job
make them
market's
aware
gonna
of
be?
what it's going to, well,
Yeah.
they can't,
Exactly.
but at least make them aware that, because when I went to school, student loans, everybody knew that they didn't have to repay them in default at all.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
that
No,
drove
me-
when I got
drove me-
them, it was
drove me
3%.
crazy.
It was
Drove
3%
me
interest, and
crazy.
I just assumed you have to pay them back. I mean, the same thing with like credit cards. A lot of people, I'll just keep charging, and I'll just pay the minimum payment. I mean, there is education that needs to be really had. In fact, I think eventually didn't they come out with page 2 of the credit card that says if you pay the minimum payment, it'll take you
It will
320
take you-
years.
Exactly.
Yeah, otherwise people wouldn't know
17
it.
years. Do you realize that sweater is going to cost you
Yeah.
$300 rather than $50? But exactly that, and I think some businesses have been, or universities or private universities or special universities that are training people to be go into catering or to get a special certificate. you pay $5,000 or $10,000 for this program, but they don't communicate that when you get out, they'll say you could earn up to $50,000, but and that's only for 5% of the people who graduate. It's the 95% are going to be graduating. You're going to be earning $10 an hour.
And asking those 6 questions, would you like fries with that?
Exactly. And they don't realize that if you make XYZ dollar, or we'll say $15 an hour, take into consideration interest, etc., rent, what you have left to pay for your for any loans is substantially less than what you think that you could have.
Well, Catherine, the article you brought in talks about, or opines, whether financial illiteracy is exacerbating the student loan crisis. And I don't really know that it is. I think I agree a little bit with Robert. I mean, the fact of the matter is that just about any UC or California college that we looked at for our daughter, it's $50,000 a year. I mean, you could either that or go to JC, right? So if you're going to go to a real 4-year, sorry about that if you're a JC student, but
I was a JC
a 4-year
student.
college.
You don't get a BA going to a JC.
Right,
yes, but you go for 2 years, and
That's right.
that's called that's the smart decision to make, because you just
Actually,
saved
you're right.
for 2
I did
years
too.
that
I
$50,000.
went to Santa Rosa JC for 2 years,
Yeah.
got all the junk courses out of the way.
Yeah.
Then I got my
still,
degree.
Still, the fact is to get a college
Yeah.
education
You have
is
to.
so much more expensive
Yes.
compared to what people are earning and the parents are earning, that it's a whole different story than it was a decade ago.
But there's
or
also
20 or 30
scholarships
years.
too. I mean, there's some
Even
grants.
including that. That's why, to my understanding, and it shocked me, is this student loan debt is way higher than the total credit card debt in this country.
Is that right?
It is the
Wow.
single highest
Well, you know what?
debt.
I
And
can
it
see that
can't
because
be
it costs
bankrupted.
$100,000, let's say, for
Yes.
someone, and yet the credit cards are.
But everybody charges, and not everyone's a student, so it shocked me.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the highest
Yeah,
single.
but when someone has a student loan, they have 50,000 or 100 or 200,000
Right,
in
it's
debt.
big usually.
Yeah,
It's
versus
huge.
credit cards might be 500, 200,
Yeah,
1,000. or
usually those people who are getting credit cards at a young age do not have the credit limits to charge up $100,000
This is
that
probably a
quickly.
huge windfall for the government when people do pay off. I mean, because the interest rates when I went to school, even though the interest rate environment was 20%, because I went to school in the late 70s, early 80s, the interest rate they gave us for student loans was 3%.
Oh, that's
I mean,
a
It
we
still
deal.
is.
No,
No.
it's 7%.
It was.
Maybe
It went from
for
3.4 to 6.8 because it was the windfall. Unless we can decide on something that's going to double, and it wasn't the first time that Congress couldn't decide on something.
I thought
So,
they did this every day.
Yeah.
Yes, they
all in agreement.
So
They
so
agreed
it
to
doubled.
disagree.
Now they're talking about not doubling it, and they're wanting to uncouple it and lower it from 6.8 to something that's commensurate with the markets.
Yeah, but what's something about the default? If you default, what's the penalty? Weren't you saying it's just astronomical?
No. What I was saying that we actually talked about this a few weeks ago on the show. I had an article about how high a percentage of default student loans are.
Oh, you
It's
mean
double what it was a
the
year
default
ago.
interest?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
start
know.
charging interest and more fees, and it's just not pretty.
It's got to cover the people who.
And unlike even credit, that you can't get away from it by filing bankruptcy. There's no way to get
Never
out of
goes
a
away.
credit card of a student loan debt.
And I'm not sure that might be part of the illiteracy surrounding it, is that the people don't realize that you cannot get rid of it. There are exceptions to pay if you do work for a government agency or a nonprofit or a certain
Yeah,
kind
of
stuff.
course.
There's
If you work
always
for the
exceptions.
government,
But
or if you've
yes,
got a senator
so-
for a father, probably.
Yeah.
Dude.
But people don't realize the amount of time and energy it takes to pay it off, and how you cannot get rid of it.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Yes.
Yeah, stuck like glue. Okay, we're going to cut to our second commercial break. When we come back, we got some very interesting emails for our panelists here, because we have 3 of them. Okay, the theme is Las Vegas. What is the name of the Las Vegas airport? The first 3 callers. I see a lot of people think I was going to ask really easy questions like, what's another name for blackjack? 21, But that's not it. It's what is the name of the Las Vegas airport? Of course, Mark goes there a lot for business, so he knows. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What is the name of the Las Vegas airport? One more time, 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, speak slowly, spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial because the best of investing will be right back.
Touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial.
Lost my butt airport.
That's my fire.
Has it always been the same name?
The airport?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
What is
I only noticed it in the
Don't
last couple
say
of
it.
years.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
They'll
we
tell
gotta
you
wait
when we
for
get on the air, so it'll be a surprise for everyone.
But I can't wait, Edward. I have to.
I'm
know now.
sorry, you're just gonna have to
You're
wait.
part of the
name of the
now
airport.
generation.
Okay, Mike, turn off all the cameras.
Yeah.
It's not, it's
And
not
plug
Barry
this thing.
Goldwater.
No, that would be embezzlement. Yeah, I think did I mention to you, or did I email the fact that we had gotten a call from someone who's been listening on iHeartRadio?
Really?
So it kind of got a lot more expanded than the average bear, which is nice.
When is this on Comcast? On,
Saturday at
It's whenever.
12 o'clock.
Well, it
every-
depends. This specific
On
one,
TV?
it depends on how quickly. he
Oh,
can-
about a year from now. I have a lot of
TV is
catching up to
just
do.
Sunday,
At least we'll
isn't
look
it?
No, Saturdays at
No, Saturday
12,
12
and
and Sunday
Sundays
at
at
1.
6.
6?
AM, right?
Okay.
No, I thought I really heard you say it. So
And
it's
For
not
you
like it's a-
insomniacs, we've got financial advice.
Call me.
Okay, and it's on Comcast and on AT&T. Because when we
Ooh.
switched from Comcast to AT&T, I thought,
Uverse.
how do I get? Yeah, so on the Uverse, it's a different channel.
How's my bald spot look?
We're cutting it
Here,
out now.
parts don't know.
Yeah, I want you to adjust it in post. I want a full head of hair.
Can you
Yeah,
what do
leave
you
it up to
call
you.
it? Photoshop it?
Photoshop it. Yeah. That's what my intern always says when we're videoing. I'll adjust it in post. Apparently, you can do anything in post. I didn't
Is
know
that
what
like
post
Photoshop?
is.
Post production
Yeah, post production.
Oh, I thought there was a specific.
You ready, Mike?
No,
software or something
Thank
like
you.
that.
it's lingo. In the industry.
After he puts on all his makeup and
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
pretty.
After I put on my.
But see, he looks a lot better without the beard.
Did you have a
For-
beard?
for a long
I did,
time.
yeah. For all of 2012, I wore a sad beard.
And
Actually, it was very close cropped, but it was all gray.
And did you get my email that if you click on that video?
Yeah.
And you start looking at it, it was
I
all the
did.
specific private money mark with the
They
beard.
told me to go check out a video of this real estate event that they're promoting that they had last year, and I was at it last year, and I had a booth, and every time they cut to me, there I am with the
Yeah.
full gray beard.
You look a lot better without it.
I-
Your wife
I
What made
imagine
you
it.
decide to shave it?
Oh, after a year, I just got tired of it.
I can only
Most of
grow
my
it
life
for a
without
couple
one.
of months, usually
Now
for
we have
play,
two
and
cameras.
then I'm done. It's too.
Where do you
There's
know
probably a
before?
little color
What
difference.
do you
Well, I
do
was
before?
doing. I used
This
to
one
play all the
was
bad
lights
guys
this way,
in
that one.
plays.
Oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
did grow that
Yeah,
beard to be
Living
some
Last
wicked
Supper. Yeah, it
Bible
was,
person.
yeah. I mean, we did a play one time, and I
Yeah, I can always
literally
light
because nobody wanted to play the bad guy. You kidding? That's me all over. I played the jailer,
Fine.
Judas, Herod, and Satan. I had to do costume changes all over the place, running back
Oh
and
my god.
forth. Yeah, if you go on, I think it's on my Facebook page. There's pictures of me. Even I don't recognize myself.
Are they local productions?
that special?
Yeah.
Shall we say Satan?
I said next time I want to play someone more evil. Give me Pontius Pilate.
More evil than Satan?
Well,
I know,
no,
Satan's pretty, that's pretty.
he was the worst.
Ready, Teddy?
Yes. What happened, Captain? You can't handle the truth.
We'll try not to get all three in the one,
Yeah, we'll
Do
do
you wanna- yeah, okay.
two, and then we'll
so I
last
don't
time
have to
we'll do.
truncate my answers.
How dare you try?
No below pine on
I will not be ignored.
How about if I just start off? And this is Mark Hoff. How do people get a hold of you? Next. Okay.
Just don't.
I wouldn't. Mark knows I met him. Like a brother. Like the brother I never wanted. Okay. So-
I'm out of tape. I'm leaving.
oh, I'm sorry.
What else is
he's like,
new?
You have to do it again.
Ready,
Yes.
Teddy?
Okay, ready? Here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with our co-host, Mark Hunt of Pacific Private Money. Catherine Harris of Parati and Karat, and Robert Schiff of RPM Mortgage. When we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Again, the theme is Las Vegas. What is the name of the Las Vegas airport? Anybody?
Mark.
So
Do you have some Irish in you?
McCarran.
McCarran, that is
jeez.
correct. Okay. And we're going to get right into
You had to
email
be there.
time.
Okay.
Okay. Robert, we're going to start with you. What can you do for me as a broker that I can't do for myself? What have you done for me lately?
I assume that was in terms of mortgage lending.
That is correct.
I'm Robert Schiff. I'm a mortgage broker with RPM Mortgage. RPM Mortgage is a mortgage bank, and that means we don't have any windows where you can deposit. Our business is lending on residential units, primarily in California, although we're licensed in other states. If you go to a bank, if you go to a large bank or a small bank to get a loan, you are subject to their rules and their rules only. If you go to a broker, you're subject to whatever banks they have affiliations with. If you go to RPM Mortgage, a mortgage bank, we, besides being the second biggest lender in the Bay Area to Wells Fargo, we can fund the loan ourselves and then turn around and sell it to many numbers of different banks or other lending institutions that you probably haven't heard of, or credit unions.
But that doesn't matter.
Or-
once you get the loan, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, or we can go directly to a lot of different banks if for whatever reason they have a better deal for your specific plans than RPM could do. We can fund the loan, or we can take it, we can broker it to other banks.
Okay.
So,
you kind of give them the best of both worlds. then.
Yeah, so you have the most options, and usually, almost all the time, our rates are at least as good as whatever bank you might walk into.
Okay. That sounds very
But how
good.
fast are you closing loans these days, Robert?
If it's a purchase and the contract says that it's got to close within 20 days, we can accomplish that. We have a special.
What kind of rates are you looking at? For 15 and 30?
They're a lot higher. They're about 3/4 to 1% higher than they were. So.
But that's the whole market. That's not
That's
you
that's
guys.
across the board. Yeah. So a 30-year fixed conforming loan might be in the 4.25%, 4.5% range. It just really depends on
That's still
what
really
you're.
good.
As I tell
It's
people,
not 3.5,
they're
but-
much worse than they were 2 and 3 and 4 months ago, and better than they've been for the last 40 years, except for those few months.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
a good point. So Robert, I know you have been in the business for a long time too, right?
I have been a mortgage broker for over 20 years, and before that was residential real estate.
Okay, so you got quite a bit of knowledge. And how do people get a hold of you if they're interested in residential mortgages?
The best way is to call me on my cell phone at 415-515-1941, or you can go into the RPM Mortgage website and get to me through that, or get to me through the Best of Investing.
There you go, that website. All right, thank you. And Catherine, you are a CPA,
That's
Certified
right.
Public Accountant.
Correct.
Okay, so here we have an email. It says, I heard you on the show last month and was curious, since you're a CPA, what kind of suggestions you would have to protect against embezzlement by any of my employees?
Wonderful question.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to direct my answer to somebody who is in a small business. When you are an owner of a small business and you have between 2 or 3 employees up to 50 employees, because usually, but when you have that size of an organization, you generally have a small number of staff that's in your accounting department. Really, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you 3 or 4 simple tips that are most important for any business to have. Really, when it comes to it, someone's going to take money before you get the money into your bank account, and then they're going to try to take the money out of your bank account. So, how do you figure out whether, easy one, how the money went out of your bank account? You should always get your bank statements. Don't have somebody else open it, or have somebody, your bookkeeper or anybody else on your staff do that. Or they can, but you get a copy, maybe one sent to your house or one directed to you. And make sure you look at that bank statement and look at the checks that were written. Look at what was actually, who were they written to? What amounts were they written for?
Any withdrawals, you can see where
Exactly.
they go.
That's what you want to know. That's how somebody will take the money out of your account. Same thing with payroll is if you want to look at your payroll. Look at the payroll reports, not before their process, after. That tells you what actually happened. Who did you pay? How much did you pay them? Are they being paid what they're supposed to be paid. Who is this person? I
yeah,
don't
who
know.
are these employees? Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know they got a raise.
Yeah.
Look at those things. Those are things you can't think about it as your own money, your own bank account. You want to look to see what is there that is not supposed to be
It
there.
reminds me of the MASH episode with Captain Tuttle.
Yes.
This guy never existed, and yet he was getting paid. Okay.
And he must have had a wonderful life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Driving around in a BMW.
Yeah, probably.
And then when it comes to the cash in, you just want to look and say what cash. That's the harder one. Is what cash should be in there that's not. And that one you have to use your judgment. How was my month? What was I expecting to get in? Am I getting a big grant in? A deal's about to be signed? Is there a loan that's closing? Look to see if things make sense and sit back and think about it. If you don't put any effort into it, you're not going to get anything out of it.
Sure,
You're not
because some of
finding
your customers' accounts might have been written down
Yeah.
for that.
Is it that common a practice you find in a lot of businesses for somehow money to trickle off when it shouldn't?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I just saw an article in the Marin IJ with a local nonprofit where somebody was taking the cash and changing the deposits.
Yeah, that's how we caught an embezzler one time, especially when they go on vacation. That's why you make mandatory vacations, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, Catherine, you know what I found a really useful tool is I really like using for the accounting for my business is QuickBooks Online. And the reason I like it, even though it's not quite as powerful as the desktop version of QuickBooks, but I can log in from any computer, especially my home computer, to the account, and I can just go through the check register. And it's really simple to that way, and I can see what's going in out of my account, and it's not because if it's not convenient, if you have to literally sit at your bookkeeper's desk and load their version, if it's not something you can easily do on a regular basis, that's when you're going to get in trouble potentially for embezzlement.
Yeah, I will say one thing. What problem with QuickBooks is she might have written that check to herself or himself and then changed it in QuickBooks. So you're looking at something in QuickBooks, you will never see that. So that's where it's important to see, independent of anybody in your organization, is get that bank statement directly from the bank. Get that payroll report directly from the payroll service provider and look and see what actually happened. So that's great. Get on whenever you have time and look, does it make sense?
Don't have the same employee open up the checks, reconcile the bank statement.
Exactly.
But most people
But a lot of
so
people are so small that
Yeah,
can't happen,
they
which
trust
is
them.
fine. You have to do that. But then there's these 2 or 3 key things that can be performed that mitigate a significant amount of those risks.
I was just going to say, most people are so busy in their business, they delegate the bookkeeping to someone else and rely on their.
Just put
Honestly,
cameras everywhere, including
Exactly,
the bathroom,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, and also it's a great. I mean, that's the problem is when you start to own your own business, you want to be in the business. You want to do what you've loved and wanted to do. But the problem is when you run a business, you're running a business.
Too busy.
You've got to do your business, and horrible thing.
No,
But you've
Okay.
got to take care of at least looking over it.
well, it's sad because there's so many businesses, mom and pop shops, that literally go under because someone decided to steal because it was a little too easy, and whatever reason, they snorted it or they just bought expensive vacations. And rarely do they invest it in the stock market, make a lot of money.
Yes,
And
usually
then-
you
Bernie
can't
Madoff.
recover
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, Bernie Madoff. So, Catherine, you work for Parati and Karad.
I work for Prod & Crod. We are a firm, a full-service CPA firm in Marksburg, California. You can reach us at 415-461-8500. We help businesses, nonprofits, individuals with tax returns, filings with any other government agencies for sales tax, payroll tax returns. We also do test work, so if you need an audit or a review for your bank, if you've got a line of credit, we can help you with
Or
that.
I could see potentially someone listening to the show might call you and say, I've heard about these internal control things.
Yes.
We're talking about embezzlement. I'm not your client yet, but could we hire you as a consultant to come in and tell us what we're doing right and what we're doing
Oh,
wrong?
definitely. I
Great
could
idea.
sit down for half a day and give you recommendations and changes and things with observations. And some of them are going to be financial in nature. Other are just, hey, you're only earning. Well, at one point you could have earned 3-4% on your interest. Now it's not that much, but we can make observations that you may not be investing correctly or
Okay.
think of something else to save you some money.
All right, Catherine Harris, CPA. Give your number out one more time.
Catherine Harris with Parati & Crod, and I can be reached at 415-461-8500.
Excellent. That's an easy number to remember. Okay, we're going to cut to our third and final trivia question. We come back. We got an excellent email for Mark. Okay, here is the trivia question. And again, the theme is Las Vegas. This one's a little easier. What are the 3 colors on a roulette wheel? The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. In fact, they should have, for July 4th, changed them to red, white, and blue. That would have been fun. But that's not the right answer. What are the 3 colors on a roulette wheel? Make sure to include your name, your email address. Speak slowly. Spell out your email 1 letter at a time. Don't touch that dial because we're also going to have some fun thoughts at the end of the day. But then when we come back, we're going to get to Mark's email. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. One more segment.
Excellent.
So take a look at your bank statements.
Did you get enough of yourself in there, my friend?
Oh, yeah.
That's happened.
Boy, what a ham.
This is a fraud.
Just
I
gonna
mean,
interrupt your whole
that's
show on
those
the
are the
streets
3
right
ways.
now.
It's money coming in, it's money going out.
It's okay with me, my friend.
You're too funny.
You're the best.
You
Same, I
too
hate
much.
the computer.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
No.
Right?
I
In fact,
won't.
I have to keep telling
No, I
people.
know.
You're the best. You're the
My
best.
dad was
I'm the best
an
investing.
embezzler for his construction company. And
As
then when
well.
I worked for him, one of our people in the office stole one of my credit cards when it came in the mail.
When he shot you one, Mike.
Unbeknownst to me, it was really easy for them to call up and
When you
activate
go
my
tight on
credit
it,
card.
It's crazy.
And then they went out and
He doesn't
charged
go
up
a lot.
$thousands worth of stuff.
That's the scary one.
Did they at least give you some of those things?
I didn't
Do
get,
whatever you like.
reimbursed or anything. She denied it and then quit. Like in front of her. Oh, that sure is convenient. I don't know what you're talking about.
So that's amazing. They don't think that they're going to get caught or
Yeah.
endangering their job.
Well,
or
What's
it's
happening more is that people don't press charges. It's small enough.
It's
They, you know,
embarrassed to not.
they're embarrassed to report it.
just-
So,
people are taking a chance for no significant financial
well, no, they'll
gain.
get like $20,000, but the organization or the company that got screwed won't press action against them because
For
they're
people that
embarrassed
are-
and how much it costs.
we called the DA when we I said call the district attorney. It's that. Look what happened. They caught that guy Brett Richards in
Yes.
the Philippines.
Oh,
We
right.
used to do the
Awesome.
audit of Richardson Bay or of sanitary district. one.
Really?
We got out about we did the audit for them for about 15 years. And we left around 2000.
Well,
Seven.
the big thing was
Right,
how
when
could
the
you
shit
not?
hit
How
the
could you give
fan.
this guy $350,000 and not get a deed of trust? I mean, why don't give him the money?
That
Then
That
he
was
buys the
alone. That
house.
woman at the Civic Center who had worked there for 20 years
yeah.
or something walked up. They found hundreds of thousands of dollars that she'd taken over the years.
And that's where it gets
Yeah.
in trouble. Is there's not a lot of nonprofits and
Yes, sir.
government agencies.
Let's do. Let's hit it.
Okay. We got 9 minutes 47 seconds left. Okay, when we get back, we're gonna get
And I'll use
email.
9
You get-
minutes
you get
and 46 seconds.
And I've got this one little thing to come up, and then is there any last minute?
My turn. My turn.
Yay! Waited all this time.
Unless
Yes,
I
you're
do the
tired.
introduction really slow. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, here we go.
Red, black, and green.
Oh really? I was gonna say I'm a CPA. That tells you how little risk I take. I don't know. at
Okay,
all.
good. You know, can you say that?
Yes,
I like
I
that. Okay.
Give me a slap when you're ready, Teddy.
How's that?
Give him a slap.
I'll give you a slap. Okay,
Nah.
hey, just like the Three Stooges.
Give Robert a slap when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead on this end. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn, Catherine Harris, and Robert Schiff. When we cut to the third commercial break, we ask this trivia question. What are the 3 colors on a roulette wheel? Mark, what's the answer?
Wait, hold on. I gotta tell you something. This tells you how nerdy and a CPA I am. I take such little risk that I don't even know this. Like I can't even tell you like how to play blackjack. So
Okay,
I actually know black and white, but I was gonna say red. No, but it's black, red, and I don't see
See,
black.
you proved it.
See that? Yeah,
you
yeah.
proved it.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
good.
What's
Black and green.
Red, black, and green. That is correct. Now, can you at least tell us what state Las Vegas is in?
Nevada.
There you go.
Okay, finally got
Yeah,
one
well,
question.
No, no vacation giveaways for that answer though.
I
Okay, Mark, we got an email for you that I thought was kind of interesting. It says, with real estate rising and buyers scooping up properties, are you still able to find any good fix and flip deals?
Well, great question. My company, Pacific Private Money, is a hard money lender to real estate investors based here in the Bay Area. And so I'm not personally actively out seeking real estate, but I've got lots of clients. And I got to tell you, the deal flow, meaning the loan applications I'm getting from real estate investors, other than the typical summer slowdown, because every July and August our applications go down a little bit, but really not that unusually low, and we're still seeing a lot of applications. And so and I personally know a lot of our borrower clients, and a lot of them are repeat clients, and I'm talking to them because I kind of want to know what's out there, because I do hear anecdotally in the industry that a lot of real estate investors, particularly ones that have come kind of back in the market recently, and so, oh, the market's hot, it's definitely turned around, it's now time for me to get back into real estate investing. Well, those guys, generally speaking, are having trouble getting or finding or getting their offers accepted. And so particularly if all you're doing is really going off the MLS, let me just tell you that the successful real estate investors that I know today are finding deals that are off the MLS. They're actively
How do they find them?
Well, they're actively pursuing people
that are
who
not
are
on the okay.
that are not
Not
these are not MLS deals.
Okay.
Generally speaking, the best deals are found off the market. They're found by people who are in some state of foreclosure or pre-foreclosure. Of course, you can subscribe to a number of lists that will give you that information. And so, if you can find someone that's a short sale,
do your investors get that by those
they do.
subscriptions?
Yeah.
or by
Oh,
more-
absolutely. And so, and not only they, but they'll have their own bird dogs, people who work for them for a fee that will run around and look up that information and then try to contact those families and negotiate and write lots of offers or make lots of offers. So really the key is for a real estate investor in this market to find deals in a tight market is to have the education to know how to pursue those off-market properties. And there are a number of training programs here in the Bay Area and in California that will, for a fee of course, will teach you how to do that. I'm
And
not
you can
advocating.
recommend some of those, I imagine.
Well, I could, yes. If you called me, I don't want to do it on the air because they're not paying us. So. For a fee.
Sorry.
But they're,
That
look,
three-letter word.
Yeah.
I just met a guy actually this week who called me, who is in a kind of a related industry, kind of works with HUD clients and helps negotiate short sales. And he called me to tell me that he has access to a number of deals, and did I have any buyers? And of course, I've got plenty of buyer clients. I've got borrower clients, and if I help a borrower client find a deal, then they'll come to me for a loan. So yeah, I've been able to hook up some people just through my database, and that makes for a win for everybody. I get to do a loan, they get to buy a property, and the guy who had the deal gets to earn a fee.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's not,
And
the inventory's there. It's just it seems like it's a little bit more legwork.
So these properties are properties that are in pre-foreclosure. Either the people are still living in them and trying to hold the bank back from foreclosure, trying to work out a modification, or are they vacant? And
Some are. It's
it's
a little of
in
everything.
the wall.
Yeah, it's a little of everything. You're talking vacant houses that the bank is not yet kind of positioned themselves for whatever reason on their balance sheet to sell it, and because there are actually quite a few vacant properties in the Bay Area that are bank owned but not on the market. Well, how do you get access to those? Well, some people have secret keys to the vault. So, and it's really. You need to do a little bit more work. It's a little bit more effort. There's there's no easy money in real estate, even though it seems like it when you're reading the paper about real estate prices are up 22%. You think, dang, if I only bought a year ago. But there's always money to be made in real estate if you work at it. There's always areas you can go or places or people you can go to learn how to find inventory, and people are in the business of teaching how to do that. So
how do people get a hold?
Go ahead. I was going to say, where do you specialize? Is it just the Bay Area? You more statewide?
I specialize in the Bay Area. Yeah, I've been in the real estate market in the local Bay Area here for a number of years, and so that's our specialty. So for more information, because I know we're running a little bit towards the top of the hour here, and you could look at our website. It's pacificprivatemoney.com. You can also call our local Bay Area number. It's 415-883-2150. And again, we are a private money lender, also known as a hard money lender. We provide financing for people looking to buy, fix, and flip real estate. Oh, and I might as well add too, while I'm at it, we fund those loans with private individual capital. So if you happen to be someone who's sitting on some money in your IRA or savings account and looking for a way to earn 8% or more using that money, we can always use one more or two more clients. Give us a call, 415-883-2150, and learn more about how you too can earn high yields on your savings.
Which, by the way, and also you can go to Best of Investing and see Mark there. Mark and I are actually going to be starting an additional show on top of the Best of Investing called Mortgage Investing 101. That's going to be on
Yes, indeed.
a channel,
There you go, there's that fun
Sister
channel.
channel.
Sister channel. There you go.
Sister Clear Channel.
Yeah, Sister Clear Channel, 960 a.m. on KNEW at 10 a.m. So people can hear us there and then switch over to the Best of
And that's
Investing
starting August 3rd.
Yep, and
Saturday,
we'll be
August
talking
3rd.
about that. Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
wow.
it ought to be very interesting. Quick little thing here before we cut out. CEO pay rising 16%. So the typical CEO is making 15.1 million. Are you making 15.1 million?
I've never thought
Not
of
He's
it.
not
In
a
my
typical
dreams.
CEO.
Yeah.
Not a typical one. Okay, so it's so funny. It say here about corporations deducting them from income taxes, and that's not fair. But then the thing is that they're deducting on the taxes, but then the individual CEO is having to report that
Pay
in his
income
W-2.
taxes.
Yeah, he's going to pay income taxes on it. Yeah. Apple
In theory.
In theory, Apple Computer avoided almost 9.2 billion taxes by using debt to finance part of the $55 billion stock buyback. They issued bonds to pay for some of it, as opposed to bringing some of the $100 billion in cash overseas, which would have been taxed at 35%. Those rascals. Okay, we are going to cut out here. Here's our thoughts for the day. And that's actually our blunders of the day, right? On Tesco, I've never heard of Tesco. Tesco's tiramisu dessert box, it says, "Do not turn upside down," which was printed on the box, on the bottom of the
On the
box.
bottom.
See, that's a little late for that warning. And on a bag of Fritos, "You could be a winner. No purchase necessary. Details inside." And that must be the shoplifter special.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
indeed.
tune in next week to the Best of Investing, because we're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia question. And next week's guest is going to be Adam Brown of Hilltop Kia to discuss leasing versus buying a car. You're not going to want to miss it.
That's always a good one.
That's always a
good
good one, because he's going to be
conversation
discussing the differences between leasing and buying, and I don't know if he's going to get into tax things. Issues, but he's also going to have a special offer for our listeners. And the reason I'm having him on is because we just bought a Kia. I'd heard of Kia, but I'd never really paid attention to it. And
Yes.
we got a fantastic deal from them. Very happy with the car. In fact, we bought it for my daughter, and now I'm trying to steal it away from her and make her have my car instead. No, she's not going for that. So anyway, that'll be next week. We're going to have Adam Brown from Hilltop Kia. And thanks for listening. Hope you join us next week. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long. And that'll be a wrap.
Well, that's exciting, new show.
Yeah, yeah.